Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Today we are at the London Stadium where West Ham United host Sunderland in a vital Premier League fixture as both clubs seek momentum and meaningful points in contrasting parts of the table. West Ham currently sit 18th in the Premier League, deep in the relegation zone and searching for consistency as they battle to climb towards safety and close the gap on 17th place Nottingham Forest to 2 points. They head into today's match off the back of a 2-1 away win at Tottenham Hotspur, a result that snapped a lengthy winless league run and offered a boost in confidence. Despite that success, the Hammers have now gone 19 league games without a clean sheet, highlighting ongoing defensive struggles that have undermined their survival bid this season. Sunderland arrive in much healthier league territory, sitting 9th in the Premier League, 5 points off the European qualification places, and showing the form of a competitive top-half side. Their last outing was a 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace, a comeback performance powered by Inzo Lafay and Bryan Brobbey that continued their strong start to the new year and extended an unbeaten run. Sunderland will go at least 5th with a victory, but could go 4th if they win by an improbable 5-goal margin. Team news, and as expected, Nuno has named the same 11 that started last Saturday's 2-1 win at Tottenham. El Hadji Malik Diouf returns from winning the Africa Cup of Nations with Senegal to take his place on the subs bench, along with midfielder James Ward-Prowse, who returns to the Hammers squad for the first time since September. Striker Callum Wilson, whose late goal won the game at Spurs last time out, is also on the bench. Lucas Paqueta is not in the West Ham squad. It was reported this week that the attacker is a subject of interest from at least 2 clubs in Brazil. For Sunderland, talismanic midfielder Granit Xhaka has been ruled out of today's game. The ex-Arsenal and Bayer Leverkusen star injured his ankle in Sunderland's last match against Crystal Palace and will now undergo, according to his club, a period of rehabilitation. Mayenda replaces him in the Sunderland starting 11. Kick-off and Sunderland get us underway at the London Stadium, and the visitors almost produce a dream start. Inside the opening 2 minutes, West Ham fail to clear a long throw properly, and the ball drops invitingly to Sadiki on the edge of the box. He connects sweetly with a left-footed volley that looks destined to dip under the bar, but Areola springs upwardly brilliantly to tip it over. The keeper was fortunate there that the strike was relatively central. What a start from Sunderland. The away end likes what they're seeing. The West Ham look a little nervous, especially in defence. The early pattern is clear. Sunderland pressing aggressively, moving the ball quickly and dominating possession in the opening exchanges. West Ham struggling to string passes together and are being forced backwards repeatedly. However, by the 7th minute, West Ham are beginning to find some composure. Fernandes is getting on the ball more, and Summerville, so impressive at Tottenham last week, is starting to drift into space on the left. West Ham now win a free kick deep on that side, but it comes to nothing and is cleared well by Alderete. Here's a stat about Sunderland. Amazingly, given their success so far in their first season back in the Premier League, they are looking to win consecutive top-flight games for just the 2nd time this season, previously beating Wolves and Chelsea in October. In fact, the Black Cats are winless in 6 away games since that 2-1 win over the Blues. Now back to the game and West Ham break. Castellanos slides Summerville in behind, but Dan Ballard produces a vital interception to stop the Argentinian forward. Sunderland now break themselves, Brobbey leading the charge, but Mundle hesitates and Fernandes recovers to snuff out the danger. The transition from one end to the other by both teams was alarmingly easy there. It might suggest we're in for an open game. Just short of the 15-minute mark, and it's West Ham's turn to attack. Wan-Bissaka plays the ball out to the right to Jarrod Bowen. He drives at Reineildo, pushing the defender back inside the box. Then a quick turn of pace from Bowen to his right gives him that yard of space by the byline where he can stand up a delightful cross to the edge of the 6-yard box. Summerville attacks it aggressively. Go! He wanted that more than the Sunderland defenders, who are flat-footed and can't stop him powering a header past Roefs. The header is right at the keeper, but he can't react quickly enough to get his hand up to block the header. Clinical from West Ham, ruthless. It's not often we've used those words this season to describe the Hammers. Credit to Bowen for his assist, which was pure quality. He had Reineildo on toast there, and then it was Summerville's movement and conviction that did the rest. Slightly against the run of play, West Ham lead. Jarrod Bowen now has the outright most Premier League goal involvements for West Ham. At 102, he overtakes Mikel Antonio, previously with 101. The noise inside the London Stadium lifts instantly. It had started to get a little quiet in here. Sunderland now coming forward, trying to get an immediate equaliser. A floated ball drops to try Hume at the back post, but the stand-in captain gets too much height on his header and it sails over. Continuing with the end-to-end flow of the game, moments later, it's West Ham on the attack. The ball breaks to Summerville in midfield, and he's able to set Wan-Bissaka away in space on this right side, who cuts inside before playing the ball to Bowen with his back to goal on the edge of the penalty area near the D. The Englishman swivels and shoots, but his low effort deflects off Mukiele. Oh, it's coming into the path of Pablo, who's waiting at the left edge of the 6-yard box. Roefs advances quickly on him. The Brazilian shoots. Oh, wide. Over, in fact. He goes for power, but can only lift the ball over both keeper and crossbar. That was a big chance for West Ham to double their lead. Sunderland were too open on their left side there in the lead up to that chance. Sunderland do, though, carry a threat from set pieces, and they will be aware of West Ham's vulnerability in this area. Hume now delivers deep, and Ballard is wrestling with Soucek. Ballard gets his head to it first. Oh, that was close, very close. The header loops up across goal and whistles inches wide of the top corner. That was good strength by Ballard to hold off Soucek, which is not an easy thing to do. Summerville, meanwhile, continues to torment Sunderland, often isolating defenders one-on-one and forcing desperate defending. 25 minutes gone, and Summerville again on the ball out on the left side. He passes the ball on to Scarles, who sees an opening and bursts into the box. Hume sticks out a leg, there is contact, and Scarles goes down. All eyes on the referee. Penalty! Thomas Bramall points to the spot. There are no serious complaints from the Sunderland players. VAR checks and confirms the decision. I think once the referee has rewarded that, VAR are not going to overturn it. Jarrod Bowen steps forward. He goes to his right. Roefs guesses the right way. Go! 2-0 to West Ham. The penalty is hit with enough power and precision to find the bottom corner beyond the despairing dive of Roefs. 2 goal involvements inside half an hour for Bowen. An assist and now a goal. He's such an important player for the Hammers. Relief floods the stadium. West Ham have let so many leads slip this season, even 2-goal leads, so they won't be completely getting carried away, but for now, there's hope. Remember not long ago when Forest's win at West Ham a couple of weeks ago seemingly ended the relegation fight. The Hammers are now in our live league table, just 2 points behind Forest. Half an hour gone, and it's all gone wrong for Sunderland at the moment. And Dan Ballard has to be careful for an hour now as he sees yellow for bringing down Summerville. Shortly after, Roefs makes a routine save from a Castellanos header after good work by Soucek, but West Ham are now rampant. The confidence is surging through the side. Fernandes dictating tempo, Bowen and Summerville running riot down the flanks. Sunderland look lost without Xhaka's calming influence in midfield. Breaks downfield from the Black Cats are fizzling out. Passes going astray. This is perfectly illustrated when Brobbey overhits a simple ball from Mundle that runs harmlessly out of play. Their body language is telling its own story. Sunderland lacking that fire they had in the first half of the season, which may be understandable considering the size of their squad and the number of games they have played, especially now we're just coming out of the festive period. Back to the game, and that is a yellow card all day long. Bowen bursts past Reineildo, who drags the England forward down. That's a mismatch there at the moment, the Mozambican showing his frustration. We are fast approaching half-time now. Lebris will be anxious to get his players in and make some adjustments, as Sunderland have not really been at the races so far. For West Ham, they won't want the half to end. Here the Hammers come once again, regaining possession high up the pitch. It's Summerville once more, this time taking the ball to the byline out on the left side. He feeds the ball into Castellanos, who's done really well to drop off his marker halfway inside the box, slightly to the left. He moves the ball onto his right foot. He shoots, blocked by Ballard. The ball rebounds to Mateus Fernandes, centrally, 25 yards from goal. He takes one touch, steadies himself, right foot. Go! What a hit! The London Stadium explodes. A thunderous strike into the top corner. Roefs was at full stretch. But was the keeper a tad slow in moving his feet across? He may be disappointed on reflection with that one. Taking nothing away from the strike though from Fernandes. Precision, confidence, power. Fernandes has been one of the few bright lights in a difficult season for West Ham, and this feels like his moment. West Ham are in dreamland. This is the first time they've scored 3 goals in the first half of a Premier League game for almost 3 years, since a 4-0 win at Bournemouth in April 2023. The board goes up. There will be 3 minutes of added time. Oh, now then, the referee has a big decision to make here. Could this be a second yellow for Reineildo? He has caught Bowen again, bringing down the England forward. What will the ref decide? No card! Referee Thomas Bramall keeps his cards in his pocket, and the Sunderland defender can count himself lucky. On another day, that would have been a second booking and a red card. It may well be that we won't see Reineildo back out for the second half, having survived that one. And that is half-time. The whistle goes on an extraordinary first half. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Sunderland started brightly, but once West Ham settled, they dominated completely. Summerville's header, Bowen's penalty, and Fernandes' wonder strike have put the game firmly in West Ham's control. Sunderland have been dreadful since the opening minutes. There's a marked lack of drive in the team, badly missing Granit Xhaka's influence. West Ham, by contrast, looked liberated, the happiest the stadium has felt for a long, long time. Second half, and as expected, Sunderland make changes at the break, and one of them is for Reineildo as we anticipated. It's a triple substitution, in fact, a clear sign of dissatisfaction from Régis Lebris. But worryingly for him and his team, the early pattern remains the same. West Ham controlling possession, slowing the tempo down now, and managing the game intelligently. The visitors really need a lifeline. The next goal will be crucial. A fourth for West Ham would surely be game over, but if Sunderland were to score, we may just see old habits resurface amongst this West Ham team. They've surrendered big leads before. Fernandes is clattered early on, but continues. The quiet spell in the game continues. West Ham happy to sit back, Sunderland not really doing anything with the ball. The Hammers' defence continue to defend set pieces comfortably. Todibo heading clear the latest Sunderland corner with ease. We've passed the hour mark now and West Ham continue to be comfortable. That will be disappointing to Lebris, that even his substitutions have not brought a change in attitude and energy from his team. Summerville on the ball now again. He pulls the ball back for Castellanos, who curls an effort towards the far corner. Roefs reads this one well though and gets across to make a reasonably comfortable save. Finally, Sunderland have the ball in space as they break down the right. Mukiele makes a strong underlapping run from midfield, taking 2 West Ham defenders out of the game. The pass into his run from the side is perfect. Mukiele delivers a first-time cross into the box. Brobbey is unmarked centrally, just outside the 6-yard box. Go! He glances a header past Areola and into the corner. Where did that goal come from? Game on! The away end erupts. The stadium tightens. West Ham's clean sheet wait continues. Nuno will be furious with his players, as they were controlling the game so well up to that point. His players switched off completely, not following the run by Mukiele, and credit to him, showing the desire that has been absent from his team this afternoon. Can Sunderland build on that now? Now the next goal really is huge. West Ham instinctively retreat, content to defend their 2-goal cushion. Sunderland push, sensing perhaps vulnerability. Nuno, sensing himself that the winds may be changing for his team, makes changes. Diouf, just returned from AFCON glory with Senegal, comes on to replace Scarles. Callum Wilson, formerly of Newcastle, also comes on to a frosty reception from the Sunderland fans, while Sunderland make a change of their own, introducing Isidore in search of more attacking threat. Both managers making their moves in a tactical battle. You can feel the tension now in the stands, but Sunderland don't seem to be taking advantage of their opportunity to really go at the West Ham defence. The game drops back into passivity, and that will suit the Hammers no end. On 75 minutes, West Ham showed their intent, with defender Pottts coming on for striker Castellanos. West Ham look happy to sit in and defend their 2-goal lead now. They've been burned before by this tactic, but with the time left in the game, they will fancy it. Summerville now, always an outlet for West Ham, is so direct. He darts in off the left flank, forcing Sadiki into bringing him down. That's a booking for the Sunderland player. Naturally, Sunderland are able to have the ball in more offensive positions now as West Ham concede territory. Is this really a good strategy for the Hammers? Sunderland starting to send in more crosses. The ball drops to Isidore at the back post. He shoots! Oh, over the bar. The forward thumps a volley high over the crossbar. It was a difficult attempt to execute, and he couldn't connect as he wanted. Sunderland, though, must still believe they can get something here today. Here they come again, this time down the right side with Luke O'Neill, who only recently came on as a sub from Mukiele. Oh, he shanks his cross, but it's looping dangerously towards the top corner. Areola is backpedaling frantically. Save! And then off the bar. And finally the West Ham keeper can fall on the ball. Gratefully inside his 6-yard box. He got fingertips to the initial shot, and then the ball kissed both post and bar before dropping safely into his arms. A heart-stopping moment for West Ham, and a sign of how fragile their lead is, even with just 5 minutes of normal time remaining. West Ham hold firm though. We are into added on time, and Sunderland have not been able to create any meaningful opportunities. In fact, it's West Ham who are attacking, and they win themselves a corner, a chance to eat up some more important minutes. The ball comes into the 6-yard box. There is chaos and a bit of ping-pong before a Sunderland player hacks the ball clear. It comes to Fernandes 25 yards out in a very similar position to where he scored his first goal. He takes one touch, steadies himself, right foot. Oh, off the bar! My word! He smashes that off the underside of the crossbar. The ball bounces away, but comes to Wilson, who sends a looping header back towards goal. Soucek challenges with Roefs, who drops the ball before gathering it again at the second attempt. But was the ball over the line? Oh, it won't matter though, as the ref blows for a foul on the keeper by Soucek. Wow, let's get back to that Fernandes pile driver. Roefs didn't even move. I think he was blindsided by Mavropanos and Alderete, who were not watching the action, in fact squaring up to each other in the aftermath of that scramble inside the box from the initial corner. But that is the last action of the game, as shortly after the ref blows his whistle for full time. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1, a huge win for West Ham. They were electric in the first half, ruthless when chances arose, and just about composed enough when nerves crept in after the break. Summerville shone throughout, and Bowen led by example. Fernandes produced the moments of the match. It's back-to-back league wins for the Hammers, momentum at last, and suddenly those 2 points between themselves and Forest, who play Brentford away tomorrow, don't look so insurmountable. If West Ham continue to play in the same way as they did today, then they will be giving themselves a very good chance of a great escape. Sunderland improved in the second half but were undone by a disastrous opening 45 minutes. Sunderland definitely missed the influence of Xhaka. Not so much his ability on the ball, while that is effective, but they have become so used to letting him dictate how they should play that without him they looked rudderless. Coach Lebris will analyse today and try to work out why his team were so lacking in their trademark drive, which is becoming particularly noticeable in their away games. It finishes here at the London Stadium, West Ham 3, Sunderland 1.